So the Hophal stem is the counterpart to the Hophal stem. The Hophal is active, so the subject is performing the action in the Hophal. In the Hophal, the subject is having the action performed on it, or him or her. The semantics are the same in that whatever the meaning of the Hophal verb is, the verb in the Hophal stem, the Hophal will have that same meaning, but it flips the voicing. It becomes passive instead of active. All right. Now, as you remember from the Hophal discussion, the Hophal stem is causative. So the Hophal is causative but passive at the same time. All right. So if the Hophal form of a verb means to cause someone to do a verb, then the Hophal means to be caused to do the verb. Okay? To be caused to do the verb. Now this used to really confuse me, okay? The Hophal has two elements to it. There's the subject in the Hophal causes and causes someone to do. Okay, so there's a causing and a doing. The doing represents the three root letters. And when I would try to reason through, well, what does the Hophal mean? I would try to make the doing part passive, but that's not the part that's made passive by the Hophal. It's the causing part. So Hophal, I caused him to marry someone. If I made it Hophal, he was caused to marry someone. Right? Someone made him do it. So here we'll use moot, which was a verb that I introduced you to just for the purposes of illustration in the last handout. In the cow stem, moot means to die. All right? In the Hophal, to cause someone to die. So John, if John is the subject of the Hophal verb moot, John caused Billy to die, and that means John killed Billy. And in the Hophal, it's to be caused to die, as in Billy was caused to die because John killed him. Okay? So Billy was caused to die, which means Billy was killed. All right? So I can take the direct object of a Hophal verb and make it the subject, the passive subject of a Hophal form of that verb. All right? Now, here's what we want to do. We want to first deal with the way the Hophal is formed. So we're going to follow basically what we did with the Hophal. And in the same way, the Hophal is characterized by a hey prefix. So the Niphal stem has a noon prefix characteristic of it. The Hophal stem and the Hophal stem have hey prefixes that are characteristic of them. That hey prefix will always go before root 1. But just as in the Hophal, we will not see the hey prefix in 4 places. Where do you think they are? I'm sorry, we will only see the hey prefix in 4 places. Where are they? The perfect, the imperative, if there were one, we're going to see there's not. The infinitive construct, the infinitive absolute. Okay? Let me just go ahead and address that issue. Where you see the imperative, there is the triple X here, right? That means that it's unattested in Hebrew. There is no imperative of the Hophal stem. Why might that be? Well, the Hophal stem is causative. The Hophal is someone causes someone to do it, and the Hophal makes it passive. So how can you command someone to have someone else cause them to do something, right? That doesn't really make sense. So that's why you won't see an imperative form of the Hophal, which is nice because then there's one less form for you to memorize, right? So thank you. You're welcome. All right. So when we are outside of those 4 perfects, imperatives, and the 2 infinitives, the Hophal and Hophal hays disappear because the prefixes replace them. All right? So let's just walk through the forms real quickly. The Hophal perfect, the basic form we're going to use, of course, is the 3ms, is Hophkad. So look at how I'm pronouncing and listen. Hophkad, is this symbol we're looking at a long A or a short O? It's a short O. That is a kametz ketuf, right? And if it's a kametz ketuf, a short O, the shava under the pei is silent. Because when I look to the right, I'm seeing a short vowel, short, silent. Okay? If I wanted to indicate that we're long, I'd be looking for a meth egg here, and I don't have one. Okay, so Hophal. My theme vowel is a pathak. So the Kametz Ketuf is what vowel class? It's U class. Okay, so remember how the PL and Pual are active and passive counterparts of each other. What vowel was characteristic of the Pual? The U class U, right? Pual. Pual. Whereas the PL had an I class vowel with its first root letter, and the Hophal has an I class vowel as well. What's the difference between the Hophal and the Hophal? In terms of the, we have I's and A's versus U class. In the PL, the I's and the Pual, the I's and A's are under root 1, okay? In the Hophal and Hophal, the I's and A's and the U classes are under the prefix hey, not root 1. Root 1 is always going to get a silent shavah in the Hophal and Hophal, okay? So the I versus the U is characteristic of both, but they're just found in different places, okay? All right, so Hophal is he was caused to visit. He was caused to visit. Okay, Hophal, he caused someone to visit. Hophal, he was caused to visit. Now, if we take this vowel pointing and prefixing and go to our second page, we can fill in a couple of examples. So let's do that real quickly. Okay, so the 3MS perfect for the Hophal. Ho, Pe has a silent shavah, Kof has a pathak. I should have closed up my space here because that dalet doesn't need a mater like the Hophal did. All right, what would be the third feminine singular? Going to look the same at the beginning. It's Hof. It should be Hophkada, but since the dalet takes the kametz hey and slides over and becomes its own syllable, this is open and pre-tonic, and what will Hebrew do with that vowel? It reduces it to a vocal shavah. So I get Hophkada. Remember, when I have two shavahs in the middle of a word, the first one's always silent, second one is vocal. Hophkada. Okay, so Hophkad, Hophkada. She was caused to visit. And then finally, for the 2MS, this will be the last example I do. We have Hoph and, well, a pathak again, right? Hophkadta, with my accent on the kof. Hophkadta. So that's you, man, were caused to visit. All right? So we won't write all these down, but I just want you to see that in every form of the Hophal, it's Hoph, 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 Hoph. Okay? Silent shavah under root 1 every single time. For the Hophal imperfect, we have Yofkad. Yofkad. Remember, this is really Yofkad. Okay, and what happened to the hey? It syncopates. The yod swallows it up, as it were, and then slides over and takes its kametz ketuf vowel and leaves the vocal shavah behind. All right, so it becomes Yofkad. Yofkad. Now, once you know the basic form for 3MS, he will be caused to visit. You just have to switch your prefixes out to get the other person gender numbers. Okay? So look at page 2. We'll just do the first side, the left side. So what's the vowel under each nutty imperfect prefix in the Hophal imperfect? It's kametz ketuf, right? Yo, to, o. What vowel pointing is under root 1? Yes, and it's silent. Okay, so it's yof, tof, 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 oaf. All right. My tavs are begad kafat letters, so they need dagesh lene. Yod and aleph are not begad kafat letters, so they do not need dagesh lene, right? Okay, and then what's my theme vowel for the imperfect Hophal? It's pathak. Pathak, pathak. Should be pathak, but I've got a vocalic ending that takes root 3 away from closing the syllable, and so it becomes what? A vocal shavah. So tof kada. Tof kada. And then of kad. All right? So say these with me. Yofkad, tofkad. So he, she will be caused to visit. Tofkad, tofkadi. That's you, male, female, will be caused to visit. And then finally, last, ofkad. I will be caused to visit. Okay? And of course, you can look at Ross, and he's got the full paradigm here. You can practice writing in the rest of the forms there. Do you remember how in the Hophal, the WCI and the jussive were different from the imperfect's theme vowel? In the Hophal, that is not the case. So we're back to the situation where the WCI and the jussives are identical to the imperfects. So va yofkad is and he was caused to visit. Va tofkad. And I was caused to visit. Va ofkad. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to tell the difference except that I have a vav, pathak, and a doubling dot. All right? The jussive is the same. It's third person usually, and it'll look just like the imperfect third person forms. So yofkad, if it's jussive, would be let him be caused to visit. Okay? The cohortative, ofkad, becomes ofkada. It's the same as the imperfect 1CS, except I got to add the kamate for the first person singular. Ofkada, let me be caused to visit. And if it's let us, I just switched the aleph out for a noon. And I would have nofkada. Nofkada. In all these forms, what's my vowel class under the prefix? It's always U class, right? Because that's characteristic of the Hophal. All right, there's no imperative. So that's good news. The participle. The participle has the pointing mofkad, which is the same vowel pointing as hofkad and yofkad, except for what? That kametz there. The theme vowel is not pathak, it's kametz, and that kametz is not just long, it is, irreducibly long. So it will not change. Participles are verbal adjectives, so I will add all the adjective endings that we know. Nothing, kamete, im, and ot, and whenever I add those, normally I get vowel reduction here, but not with passive participles like the Hophal, the pual, and the nifal. Their kametz is irreducibly long. So let's look at the sheet, page 2. What's the prefix going to look like in every case for the Hophal participle? It's mof. Mof. I'm sitting around here mofing around. Mof. And mof. Okay, what goes under the kof? Root 2? Long A, long A, long A, long A. Do I have to reduce it ever? Nope. So it's mofkad, mofkada, mofkadim, mofkadot. Okay, so say that with me. Mofkad, mofkada, mofkadim, mofkadot. And the translation would be something like being caused to visit. Okay? Being caused to visit. Finally, the infinitives are hofkad and hofkade. Hofkad for the infinitive construct, hofkade for the infinitive absolute. What's nice about these? Well, both of them not only have the prefix hey, but they both have the U-class vowels under the hey, which will help you know that they are Hophals. The difference, though, is between the pathak and the seri. All right? Okay, good. So that's the way you form it. Let's go down to the third page. On page 3, what we see, and this I'm just summarizing Ross here, but I'm giving you some examples that Ross doesn't necessarily give you. For translating the Hophal, then, you basically have to figure out what is the Hophal meaning, and then can I make it passive? All right? The Hophal will generally be the passivization of the Hophal's meaning. So let's take the example Hishmiya. That is the Hophal perfect of Shema. Okay? So Hophal perfect, 3ms. How would you translate Hishmiya? Shema in the cow means what? to hear. And so in the Hophal, it means to cause to hear. So how would you translate this? He caused someone to hear. And I'd be looking for a direct object. What would be another way to translate this? He caused to hear. He, told or announced, right? Because if I cause you to hear something, that means I'm telling you or announcing something to you, okay? Now, look at hoshma. You can tell the difference between these two, can't you? Both of them have hey prefixes, but this one's got the I class one. This one has the U class one, all right? So this one is clearly the Hophal. And then I've got my pathak, so Hophal perfect, 3ms. How would I translate this? Yeah, so he was caused to hear. Okay, so he was caused to hear. All right. Yeah, so he was told something. Yeah, that's right. Or he had something announced to him. Be another way to render that. Now the next one is hemlich from the verb malach. What does the verb malach mean in the Cal? Yes, to reign or rule. Good. And the Hophal, this is a Hophal perfect again. 3ms. So how would you translate that? That's right. He caused someone to rule. And that another way to say that is he enthroned. Okay? So, homlach is the U class vowel under the hey with the pathak. This is the same verb, but it's Hophal. Perfect, 3ms. So how am I going to translate that using the form of cause here? He was caused to rule. So he's ruling, but someone caused him to do it, right? How would I translate that using enthronement language? He was enthroned. Exactly. Okay, so he was enthroned. Remember, it's the causing notion that is made passive, not the ruling notion. Otherwise, what we would be trying to say if we were misinterpreting the Hophal is that somehow he's in subjection to someone, right? But he's not being subjected to anyone. He's just being caused to be the ruler. You see, he's still ruling, but someone made him the ruler in this case. All right, and then karav is our verb in the Cal that means to be near. Okay, so hikriv in the Hophal is to what? To bring near, to cause someone to be near. So how would I translate hikriv as a Hophal perfect 3ms? He caused someone to be near. All right, another way to say that is he brought near, or even he presented. May I present the king, right? I'm bringing the king near to someone to present him. Now, hokrav is the Hophal, and how would I translate that? He was caused to be near. And another way to translate that is he was, yes, he was brought near, or he was presented. Okay? So there you go. Last verb form. Okay, I'm not going to write Hophal perfect 3ms for all these, all right? All right. So what does lashon mean? Lamed shin nun mean? What does it mean in the Hophal? To slander. This is a denominative verb in the Hophal from lashon, which means tongue. Okay? To lashon in the Hophal means to do something bad with your tongue, to slander. So how am I going to translate hilshin? He slandered. Okay? Now, there is no causative notion here. So this is one of the things that we have to know about our stems, is if there's a cal meaning, then putting in the Hophal could invoke that causative notion. But some verbs don't have a cal, and they have a Hophal, and the Hophal just has a particular meaning. And in the case of Lashan, the Hophal means he slandered. Okay? So I just have to take that understanding, and when I see it in the Hophal, Holshan, I need to know that I just have to convert this to a passive idea. He what? Was slandered. Okay, so just to make the Hophal meaning passive. He was slandered. So you see how that works? All right, very good.